Welcome along to another episode of Good Luggage. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below. This does really help the channel to grow and helps with all the algorithms and all that sort of stuff. This video is going to be a little bit different. It's not a detailing related video as such, but it is more of a breakdown on how much you should be charging for a service that you may provide. In my case, I do want to start a detailing business, so that is the service that I'll be providing, but it does work for anyone else, you know, be it like a painter or a joiner or anybody else that's providing a service or whatever the case might be. Special thanks has to go out to Andy Mack of the Small Business Toolbox. This video would not have been made without, I suppose, his hard work beforehand. He put all the hard work into developing the actual template based on the UK model. What I've done is basically I've taken his template and I've converted it into a Euro model to work here in Ireland with regards to your USC and your PAYEs and all that sort of stuff. So special thanks, and I suppose well done to Andy for actually completing this template before in the past. You can check out his channel up in the top corner, Small Business Toolbox UK. Really good channel, and it gives you a huge insight, and it's actually given me a huge amount of help as regards working out costings and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below where you can, and if you do like these breakdown types of videos, you know, let me know those in the comments. Hit a like and don't forget to subscribe as well. So okay, so let me start off with this spreadsheet saying that I am not a financial advisor in any sort of shape or means or anything like that. This is literally just a sheet that kind of calculates whether or not you're in a plus or a minus as regards your hourly rate and whatever you charge. So the biggest things that we're going to be looking at here is around where this verdict section is. If this bit is in red, that means you're obviously in the minus. If it's in green, you're in the plus. And yeah, you'll see it kind of as we go along anyway. So we're going to start off with this figure here, which is 16,000, and where I got that figure from is if I go over to the notes section, right? So this is we're basically working off this as it being a minimum wage sort of income, I suppose, for a year. If you're working for a company under minimum wage or whatever, this is the sort of net income that you'd be getting. So the way we worked that out then was, in our notes section, we had the daily rate, so 8 hours at 10.20 as regards minimum wage here in Ireland. So equals 8 hours by 10.20. It's equal to 81.60 a day. And then if you're doing that 5 days a week, you're doing that multiplied by 5. So for 5 days a week, you get a weekly gross of 408. Over the year, then it's 52 weeks, obviously. So you're multiplying this weekly figure by 52 to get your equals that figure multiplied by 52 will give you your annual salary of 21,216. Now, to get a rough interpretation as regards you know, taxes and all that sort of stuff, I'm just going to work off 25%, you know, that you're paying your PRSIs and your USCs and all that sort of stuff. So I'm working out at 25%. I don't have a definite number for that. So if we go take this figure and multiply by 0.75, which will take 25% off the actual gross figure, and we're left with 15,912. So that's our net figure, that if you're earning minimum wage 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, you should be getting 15,912 into your hand, I suppose. So round it off 16,000 just to make it easy. So when we put that into our calculator here, that shows up as 16,000 here. So we're going to work off that. That's our minimum wage, your minimum net that you're going to get as such. Okay. Okay, so let's start populating our area up here. So it's kind of how many hours, how many days, and all that sort of stuff you're going to work. So if we start off up here, desired max working hours per day. So, you know, you could do 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever it might be. 9 to 5 is your 8 hour day. 9 to 6 is 9 hours, whatever it might be. So we're going to work off at 9 to 5. And we're going to say, that's 8 hours in that day. Now, between traveling and lunch hours per day or whatever like that, you might take your hour for lunch, or you might take 15 minutes at 11 o'clock, half an hour for lunch, another 15 minutes then for a cup of tea or whatever it is during the middle of the day or whatever, give or take an hour.
Okay, so what that ends up is that your maximum chargeable hours that you're going to be working throughout the day is 7 hours of that day. How many days a week are you going to work? Well, you're looking at 5 days generally, Monday to Friday. Now, again, we'll go into a further bit of detail there later on if you may need to go into 6 days or whatever the case might be. Holidays off per year. How many holidays do you want to take? Generally, I think it's about 28 days, and that takes out your bank holidays and all that sort of stuff. So I think it leaves you with about 21 days. So let's put in 21 days holidays per year. Quote days per week. So how many days of the week are you going to go off site? Are you going to go to somebody's house? Are you going to go to wherever you might be going, or someone's traveling to your business, or whatever it might be? How often per week are you going to quote, take a day to quote or whatever like that? So I would say, or I'd anticipate probably half a day over the whole week that you might spend quoting people for a job or whatever. So let's put in half a day. Admin days per year. So this would be for the likes of if you're doing any sort of bookkeeping or all that sort of stuff, just looking after your accounts, your profits and losses, and just kind of generally, I suppose, doing the books as such. So how many days of those you're going to take a year? Again, anticipating once a month, you're going to sit down, you're going to go through everything and make sure everything's in line, in order or whatever. So once a month, 12 months of the year, let's say 12 admin days. Sick days per year. Now, naturally enough, you don't want to have any sick days, but there could be times that this could happen. So you kind of want to budget it into yourself that you may need to take a couple of days off for any sicknesses or any illnesses that you may have or whatever. So let's put it in as, 3 days. I don't know. It's a kind of a random figure as such here now. Okay, I'm going to leave this predicted work rate for a second, and we're going to come back down to our desired hourly rate. So here's the funny part. You see a lot of people going out there and they charge maybe 10 euros an hour, or they're charging 15 euros an hour, whatever the case might be. So let's just put in 10 euros an hour and see exactly what it might bring up then. Okay, it's not going to bring up anything just yet here. So the absolute max service income by you charging 10 euros an hour for 198 days of the year, that's your hourly, whatever it is, you're going to earn that much. Okay, now you want to put in, if you're going to be working constantly for those 8 hours or 7 hours per day, you're working non-stop, no breaks, no nothing. So you're going to be in theory working 100%. The 100%, but you working all those days or whatever at 100%, no breaks, no nothing, at 10 euros an hour, you're going to be earning less than the average national minimum wage at 10.20 per hour. So you're still at a loss by earning 10 euros an hour. So let's bring it up to try and get this part in the green, see exactly what you need to be charging for the likes of your minimum wage. So let's go 15 euros for the hourly rate. No, you're still below it, 16. So in order for you to charge, or in order for you to be gaining or be getting the exact same as somebody on minimum wage working in a business, you need to be, as a sole trader or self-employed or whatever, you need to be charging a minimum of 16 euros per hour in order for your company to make a profit and to basically get the exact same as your minimum wage or somebody working a minimum wage job. So 16 euros an hour, but this does not include any of the expenses that you may have, regards personal expenses or business expenses, etc., etc. So let's bang on over to your business expenses. So for me personally, I'm trying to set up the likes of a detailing business, but this spreadsheet actually works for any services. So you could be a joiner, you could be a painter, you could be anything at all that you provide a service for somebody. So let's kind of gauge a couple of amounts and a couple of general figures. I don't have exact figures, but again, it's all about what works for you and what is your pricing as such anyway. So if I was to run a business, I'm going to need insurance. Now, what sort of insurance are you going to need? Different services need different things, between public liability. If you have somebody working for you, you're going to need employer's liability or employer's insurance, or whatever way it works. If you have a fleet of vehicles, you're going to need X amount of insurance for that, road risk, whatever the case might be. So I'm going to put a random figure in here of, I'm just going to say 1,500 euros. I don't know exactly how much insurance is going to be, but again, it's depending on what service or what insurances you're providing or whatever. So per year it's going to cost $1,500 for insurance. Vehicle depreciation. Let's anticipate that I'm a static business. I'm in a unit. Will we do that? Yeah, because it can all change. So I don't have a vehicle for the unit that I'm in or whatever. So I don't have any vehicle depreciation. Fuel, again, I don't have any fuel costs. And the only fuel costs that I'd have would be in the personal section, which would be down here. So we'll go back to that in a bit. Premises rental per year. Again, depending on where you are in the country, I suppose, or all rents are different and stuff like that. So I'm going to anticipate where I am. You could be very lucky to get a rental for €1,000 a month. So if we go 12 months, it's going to cost 12,000 per year. Power and utilities, I'm going basically electricity. And now if you're at home, you're going to be using electricity and gas or whatever the case might be. If you're in a workshop or something, you might just have electricity. So I'm going to anticipate maybe, would €100 a month cater for electricity, in a business environment with everything going on. So let's say per year you're going to cost €1,200. Rates then, again, I'm not quite sure exactly how much rates may be in different places, but if we said €80 a month, maybe it again depends where you're going, depends what the fees and all that sort of stuff is there. So if we said €80 per month in rates, so 80, I'm just going to do it, equals 80 by 12 months, 960. Management fees, then again, you might be paying, well, you can pay any sort of amount. If you're in an industrial estate, they might have management fees for the upkeep of the estate or the grass cutting and general maintenance and all that sort of stuff. So per year, let's just leave it at €1,000. They're not unrealistic figures, but I'm not quite sure exactly at the same time. Tools depreciation. So what tools have you got? How much are your tools worth? How much are they going to depreciate over a year if you wish to sell them, then say. Now, I'm going to anticipate, again, I'm just anticipating you have €3,000 worth of tools maybe. Over the year, they might depreciate by €500 or €600, depending on whatever tools you have. So I'm going to put in a generous figure of €500 a year depreciation. So that's that. Accountant, again, of no definite amounts. If you're good with bookkeeping and stuff, you can do a lot yourself, but you will need your accountant then to do the likes of your returns and all that sort of stuff. So I'm, again, pulling it out of the hat as regards an accountant costing €300. I don't know the full costs. A phone then, you're talking your mobile phone, there could be €40 a month, €50 a month, whatever. Again, we'll go generous, we'll say €40 a month, so equals 40 by 12. Again, depending on what tariffs you're on and all that sort of stuff. Website, the upkeep of a website, and I don't know how much a website is going to cost you per year, maybe €200 between all your hosting and all this sort of stuff. So let's just put in €200. And marketing, you're going to want to market your business. You're going to want to market your business, be it Facebook, Google Ads, Instagrams, whatever social media sort of stuff you might have. But you might put, say, €40 a month maybe towards it. So let's equal 12 months by €40 is equal to that. So now we have an expense of 18,620. Now let's go back to our overview. And you can see now at €16 an hour, we're way undercharging what we should be doing. Okay. So in order to get your minimum wage, which is your 16,000 net income, plus your business expenses, we're still way, way down here. So we need to bring up our costings here. So let's go €20 a month, or €20 an hour. We're still down. €25 an hour, still down. Let's go €30 an hour. Now we're on the verge of being sort of in the area where we are breaking even, taxes are paid and all the rest, and you are still getting your minimum wage, or the same as somebody with a minimum wage. So you need to be charging €29 an hour. 28 is a bit too low, so €29 an hour. So it's hopefully this is kind of putting it a little bit into perspective. Now, going back as well and looking at these figures up here, are these actually correct? Like, realistically, you're not going to be working 100% of all the time. You might do do a little bit of whatever work you're doing, and you're stopping and you're looking around and you're kind of just seeing, am I doing that right? Maybe I could do this, or whatever the case might be. It's pretty much impossible to be working 100%, at a work rate. You basically, there's no rest with that. So I think we need to bring this figure down to roughly about 80% work rate. You have to give or take for people knocking into the shop or knocking into your unit or asking a question or just taking phone calls or whatever the case might be. You're not going to be working 100%. So 80% is a bit more of a realistic figure, I think. Right, okay. But now, by working 80%, our business is still in the minus. So we need to up our hourly rate again. So €35, we're still down. €36, we're just about over it now. So work rate of 80%, we need to be charging €36 in order to gain the same amount as the minimum wage person working in a job then. So it's starting to creep up and up as regards your hourly rate. But again, this is just business expenses. So let's go back into our personal expenses. Oh yeah, by the way, up here you can see it's basically a calculation of personal allowance. That's what you're entitled to every year, every year. Taxable income. So out of what you would earn here, 19,647 is what you'd be paying the tax on. Your PAYE is that, PRSI, USC. They're all the standard things that you would have to be taken into account for all of this to be working. So now let's go back to business. Business expenses is kind of done there, and it's working off somebody in a unit or unit based as such. Now, if you're on the road or whatever, you're talking about vehicles and fuel and stuff. They will, bring the same. You'll have the costings, but they mightn't be as much as, say, your premises rentals, and you won't have premises rental if you're on the road or whatever. But anyway, personal expenses. Let's just take out this figure. So that was the figure to be earning minimum wage. So I'm just going to take out that one, and we're going to start doing our personal expenses here. So let's treat it as you are single person working on your own. Look, just for argument's sake, we're gonna run with that idea. So food and shopping, how much is it going to cost you per month? You might be looking at, would you be looking at 80 to 100 euros a week, maybe 80 euros per week, maybe per month. So what, roughly 4 months in a year. Let's just call it 400 per month. Okay, so that's your cost then over the year. So let's keep going then through this. So your rent and your mortgage, or whatever the case might be, different. If you own a house or if you're paying a mortgage, it may be cheaper than renting or whatever. Again, we'll go by around my area here. Rent can be €1,000 a month sometimes. House insurance. Obviously, if you're renting, your landlord will be paying the house insurance. Car insurance, right? If we take it per month, then if we say car insurance might be €600 per year. Now, again, everyone is different or whatever, so I'm going to go equals 600 divided by 12 just to get the monthly, because so just works out at that. Tax then, you could be looking, say on my car, I'm paying €400 or €390 on my car, but depending on the year and all the rest, could be anything. So if we said 390, so equals 390 divided by 12, just to get those. I don't have the calculations done here already. NCT then is it 50 or 55 quid? I'm not quite sure. Say 55, so equals 55 divided by 12 will give us that. So we'll just say 460. Okay, fuel then. How much do you spend on fuel a month? I don't really know what I would be spend. Would I spend maybe €80 a month, give or take? Phone, again, you're looking at 40 or 50 euros a month. So let's say 50. Oh, let's go for a lower tariff. Let's go for 40 euros a month. Gas and electricity. Again, I'm anticipating a single person kind of renting or whatever. How much are they going to be paying each? They're possibly looking per month. Bills come out. It's what would you be looking a month? 100 euros a month, or 120. 100. We'd say 100. No, 100 euros. 100 euros per month, and yeah, that's roughly gas and electricity or whatever. Now TV, obviously depending what you're using, I think there's various different things out there that could be costing you €90 a month. Internet, actually I suppose I have a thing with one of the providers there. It's TV and internet and all that sort of stuff. I think it works out at $110 per month, so I'm going to actually use that as a figure. So internet we don't have anything. Water rates, again, if you're on your own, you're not going to be paying water rates or anything like that. TV license is €160, so equals 160 divided by 12, 13.33, let's say 13.34, just to make it easy. And household tax, you're not going to be paying that. If you're not a homeowner or whatever like that. So the total required net now is 21,965. So let's just quickly hit over here. I can see we're back in the red again for all your own personal expenses. Now this is kind of made up figures, but they're somewhat realistic as well. So if you go for your Netflix and Spotify's, how much are they? £10 a month each, are they? Give or take if you do have them. So £10 a month is €20 per month. Spending money, how much spending money do you want to have per month then? Would you be looking at, what, 300 quid a month? I know you want more, but it's, look, if you're starting business, I suppose, I don't know how much you'd be really getting or wanting or whatever. Gifts, then you're talking about birthdays, Christmases and all that sort of stuff. So how much per month would you want to be saving? Let's say overall maybe €2,000 for gifts, maybe, I'm not sure. Equals 2,000 divided by 12, so it's 166, let's say 170 per month. You want to be saving roughly 170 a month. We'd say 150, we're tight, we're only starting up a business. So 150 a month for gifts and whatever. Holidays, as Andy said, you're going to be starting a business, so you're not going to be able to save money for holidays or anything like that just yet. So we leave that as blank. So now your total required net is 27,605. So it all adds up fairly quickly. Again, match that with your business expenses, and you have a required net income of 27,605. Again, we look here, it's still in the red. So you're looking at, you need to bring up your hourly rate once again. So let's keep going. €45 an hour. No, €50 an hour. Nearly there. €51 per hour is what you need to be charging in order to pay off your business expenses and your personal expenses. This isn't, it's a brief overview of showing exactly what you should be getting or what you should be charging and stuff like that. Right, so you think to yourself, right, €51, I'm not going to get €51 an hour for doing whatever you're doing. So let's try and figure out how can you bring your hourly rate down, or how can you bring your charges down, what you need to be charging. So you consider, right, let's go for 9 to 6 instead of 9 to 5. Let's go 9 to 6. So you're talking 9 hours per day, 1 hour for lunch, which is starting to bring the profits back up because you're working more time, I suppose. I'll just show you how that affects things here. So 51, let's go down to 45. So you can see it's bringing down the hourly rate that you should be charging. You're only going to take half an hour for a day, for lunch or whatever. Again, brings it back up. I think half an hour is a bit kind of tight for a 9-hour day for your lunch and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave that at 1 anyway. Oh, sorry, that was 9 hours. Yeah, okay, so working days per week. You're at 5 days per week, Monday to Friday, for argument's sake. Now, you might think about possibly opening up on a Saturday. Okay, so let's put in 6 days a week. Again, see the dramatic increase there in your profits then. So 5 days a week, 264. By working on that Saturday, you're bringing it up to 7,500. Quote days per week, we're still going to leave it at the same amount. I think that's kind of realistic. Admin days, again, 1 day per year. Sick days is still the same, 80% work rate. That's a general. I think it's the most normal sort of sounding percentage as such. So let's bring it down to see exactly what we need to be charging in order to cover our costs then. So I'm going to go €40. No, 35, €36. So €36 an hour now. But you need to be working 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, 9 hours per day. it's funny to think of these things like, so if we know we have to work on a Saturday, could we bring it back down to 9 to 5 instead? What difference would that make? 36, 40. I'm only just giving rough figures anyway, so 41 euros. So is that a viable hourly rate for working 6 days a week for 8 hours, 9 to 5? Possibly. I'm not exactly sure, but that's for yourself to figure out exactly what you're going to be doing. So let's just go back to our business expenses and try it with you might have a van or something like that. So insurances are going to keep the same, although you possibly might have vans. Yeah, no, we'll just leave it the same anyway. Vehicle depreciation. Okay, if you buy a van for 5,000 euros, I think maybe the next year you might have to sell it for, you might be able to sell it for 4,000 euros or whatever. So let's just take 1,000 euros depreciation per year. Fuel, then you might be traveling a hell of a lot more, so you might be looking at 150 euros per year. 150 euros per month. So let's go equals 150 by 12, 1,800 euros in fuel, possibly. Again, just pulling the figures out. Premises rental, right? You don't have a premises. Power and utilities, you're not going to have any of those because you are working from your van or from your whatever the case might be. Rates, you're not going to have any rates. Management fees, you have none. Tools depreciation. Now, you're working in your van. Again, you might have the same amount of tools. I can't remember what we say exactly, but 500 euros per year, 5,000 euros worth of tools, they might depreciate in total by 500 euros. Accountant then is going to run the same because you're basically doing the same thing, whether you're working in a business or in the van. Phone then is going to cost the exact same. I think we used 40 euros as a tariff roughly. That's kind of possibly one of the lower ones as well. Website is going to be the same. Marketing is going to be the same. So it actually brought down your expenses a good bit then. Although I think insurances still might be a little bit kind of generous there at 1,500 euros. I might just bring that up a little bit, maybe 1,800 euros. So 6,560. Back to our overview. Now we're still in the profits here. So 41. Let's bring it back down to 35 and see. Right, we're 33, 32. So 31. No, 32 roughly. So 32 hours or 32 euros per hour will give your company a profit of 184 euros per month, isn't it? Sorry, for the 32 euros for the whole year, your company is going to come out with a profit of 184. So I don't think that's very viable if you need to be thinking about any repairs or any servicing or whatever you have to do. This is also not taking into consideration any sort of pensions that you might want to be paying into or anything like that. So in order for you to survive as regards your personal expenses and your business expenses, you have to be getting 27,000. And to get that, working at these sort of hours and rates or whatever, at 32 euros an hour, your company is only coming out with a profit of 184. So you really need to consider, right, I'm not going to be able to pay into any pensions. I'm not going to have any sort of money or excess money for repairs or anything like that. So again, you might be looking at, let's go up 35 euros, profits of 2,236. There's 40 euros an hour. There's a bit of stuff there. Like it's really, you have to gauge how much things are going to cost you, all your other bits and bobs that you're going to have to be paying into and stuff. So now let's go back to our personal expenses here, and we start thinking that we're going to take some holidays. Now you're going to obviously save up how much is your holidays going to cost per year. They might be, what could you be charged? Are your holidays, maybe your holiday is going to be 2,000 euros. Like that's for a weekend here and there, or you might take one big holiday. Let's say it's 2,000 euros per year. So your holidays per month then is going to be, well, let's say, what is it, 20, what am I saying here? No, I'm not getting this right at all here now. 200 euros per month. Could you save 200 euros per month to give you 2,400 euros? I think that's kind of a normal income as such, or a normal wish for holidays anyway. So again, let's bring this back to where we should be in line, sort of keeping it just above the average there. So in order to have holidays, then you need to be charging 36 euros an hour in order to get these things. Now, I suppose I'm being fairly generous with your expenses here. Other things then you can do is, in order to bring the required income down, is that you may be living with someone or you might have a family. So let's just start doing that a little bit. So food and shopping per month then, this was for yourself. So now you're going to be incorporating a family into it. How much per month is it going to cost you? Maybe €600 per month on food and shopping and stuff. Rent, mortgage, you may be living with your family. You might own your own home. So we kind of keep it in around 900, we'll say. As in, you have a mortgage and that's what it's costing or whatever. House insurance, I honestly can't remember. I'm not sure exactly how much house insurance is. So I'm going to say it's €36 a month. I don't know if that's right or not, but anyway, give or take. Right, your own car insurance. Again, 600 is the same. Tax is the same. NCT is going to be the same. Fuel, you're still possibly spending the same amount of fuel. Your phone, that's your phone cost. Gas and electricity. If you're on your own, you could be per month. You could be looking. Gas and electricity possibly is the same. It's probably a little bit more. So let's say 1,500 or 150 per month. Would that be right? Maybe 140, we'll say. TV then, as I said, TV and internet all come as one, and that's the cost rate. Water rates, again, I'm not sure how much they are. TV license is still the same. Household tax, I'm not exactly sure how much that is, but anyway, we're still seeing our total expenses. Netflix and Spotify is still the same. Spending money, okay, well then you're going to have a family, so you're going to have to spend or save or whatever it is more per month, so you might want to be going out with your family, your kids or whatever. So let's say you want €500 a month to be able to enjoy your time with your family and stuff. Gifts, again, you're talking about having kids, you're going to have to spend that little bit more to get them presents and whatever it might be, and all their friends and all the parties and all this sort of stuff, whatever. Is €200 realistic? It possibly is. Young kids and they want all the toys and they want this and that and the other. Let's go 190. Make it easy. And then €200. So this might bring you down from a couple of weekends away during the year. You might be looking at one big family holiday. So it's we'll just leave that as it is then. Okay, let's go back to our overview and see. Now we're back in a minus again. So we need to bring up our rate. No, not enough. 42. No, 43. So in order to cater for a family, you're at 317, €43 an hour to cater for a family. Now, family life, with working 6 days a week, I think you could get fairly burnt out with that, and not having any time for your family. So you may want to consider, obviously, you may want to have somebody working with you or anything like that. So let's go back to 5 days a week. Working days per week, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Let's go 9 hours a day, because you are trying to do everything that you can for your family. Still all the same. 21 holidays a day, or holidays a year. Quote days 0.5, 12 admin, 3 sick days. Predicted work rate, I'm going to leave that at the same. And so now let's bring this back up again. So there's so many fluctuations in all of this here now. So €47 an hour to work 9 to 6, 5 days a week. So at least it leaves you with your weekends off. Now, how do you improve that? Can you up your predicted work rate? 85%. Well, if you work harder or whatever like that, you're going to bring up your profits. But I think realistically, it's best to leave that in or around the 80%. So €47 an hour for your trade or for your service or whatever it is. Are people going to pay €47 per hour? Depends on what you do. But one way that you could get around it is if we go back to we're talking that we're dealing with a family here. So your partner may be working as well, and they might bring in the sort of half of the expenses that may be needed or whatever for the house or whatever. So let's say, for argument's sake, they're going to bring in 15,000. They're going to share the costs or whatever it is. So they're going to, like, the two of you paying together, it's going to be 15,000 in total. Okay, brings our required net down. Back to our overview. Now our company is in profit greatly because the costs have been reduced by a partner paying it. The likes of mortgage and bills and all that sort of stuff. It's basically halved with you and your partner. So that means, again, you can bring down your hourly rate. Let's go 30 euros. Yeah, we're still coming way down. So that is a huge help by the partner coming in. 27 euros an hour. Now, again, you're going to be looking at this and you're going to think, right, if my company is to make any sort of money at all, well, I need to be charging, say, 30 euros an hour. That'll give the company profit of 3,278. Again, you're going to have to make your own decision as regards how much your company profits should be as such. So hopefully you're starting to get to see the idea of why you definitely shouldn't be charging 10 euros an hour anyway, because 10 euros an hour won't get the same as a minimum wage, because you're not thinking of any business or personal expenses or anything like that. You need to be charging that a little bit more. Let us go back to our personal expenses. Is it? No, our business expense. Now, you may have products. You're using products all the time, and you may want to put like a markup on all the products. So here's another way of doing things. If you have cost of goods sold, if you put in basically that you're going to be using 3,000 euros worth of products in the year, okay? Let's go back to our overview. So you're after spending 3,000 euros on products, you know, for whatever business you're doing. It's obviously brought down your profits as well here, but you might put a markup or whatever the terminology is, and you might sell them for 6,000 euros. You know, if you have a shop or if you're using products, say you're spraying something and it costs you 10 euros for that bottle and you're using that whole bottle, well then you might sell that spray to the customer at a markup of 100% or whatever, and it's going to 10 euros is going to basically get you 20 euros for that product. So if we said 3,000 euros and then you're going to sell all those products that you're using for 6,000 euros, again, your profits are still coming up. So that's just one way of looking at it. So if you have a shop or if you're charging for your products that you're using, it can up your profits as such. So as I said, we'll just go back to that because I'm not sure that figure that I had there earlier. Your overview, profits are 3,278. You charge for your products 3,278, and you're coming up to 5,399. So depending on the products that you use, you're charging for those products as well. It's giving you more of a profit then as well. So as well as your hourly rate, you're charging for the products that you're using, and obviously each to their own, each service to their own will give them different amounts and stuff like that. So yeah, that is basically a rough calculator as regards what kind of you should be charging in order to survive as such, really, as regards business, help a business be profitable or help it grow or help it actually maintain itself. So so this was our, look at, if you have an additional income, say if you have your pensions. Now, I don't know how much pension is going to be or whatever like that, but if you have to put 100 euros away every month or whatever the case might be that you need, you know, you might need 300 euros a month for various things or whatever. Go back to our overview. It's bringing your costs down. Oh, that's 300 per year. Sorry, I'm saying 300 per month. So if we said 3,600 per year is what we need, you know, extras in there or whatever, it's bringing your profits way down. So there's loads of different things that you can put into this one, but hopefully it gives you the idea as regards what sort of amount you should be charging per hour. So obviously all depending on how many days of the week that you're going to be working, how many chargeable hours you can do, how many sick days you're going to take, how many admin days you're going to do, how many quote days you're going to do. If you're a static company within a unit and paying for all your rentals and all this sort of stuff, or else you're going to be a van and you're on the road, you're mobile, doing whatever work it may be, you have to really put in the time and the effort to actually work out all your calculations and stuff like that. And like this thing to be charging, you know, being a family man or whatever, a family person, and charge your business and your personal expenses, and you think, oh, I'll just charge them 20 euros an hour, which will give, what is it, 9 hours a day, that's 180 euros per day. That is just absolutely not going to work. So you really need to start thinking of you know, what you're going to be charging in order to make your company profitable. 40 euros an hour, at least that'll give you profits of X amount. And then when you start bringing employees into the things, well, you're going to have to look at all the other expenses, and Yeah, look, let's actually, I think you might be able to do that in personal expenses. Let's just go here and we say, right, you want to give somebody the minimum wage, the net minimum wage as such of, 16,000. Look, let's be generous. Let's give them 20,000. Let's just put it in there for a second. Our overview here. Right, if you have somebody working for you and you need to obviously get your own pay and you need to pay them the 20,000 euros net, whatever it works out at, maybe 27,000 of a wage, or I'm not exactly sure. So let's go up to 50 euros an hour. No, 52, 53 euros an hour. 53 euros an hour in order to pay for an employee and for yourself to have all that sort of stuff, all your expenses covered, your business and your personal, plus the employee. You're going to be looking at 53 euros. So you have to really work out all these different things, what you're going to do and whatever. So hopefully it's given you a bit of an insight into, I suppose, the costs of business or being self-employed and how much it's actually going to cost you. But yeah, it's hope it's been a bit of an insight anyway. Look, if you do have any questions on it or anything like that, feel free to get in touch with me through Instagram there. It's just at Good Luggage. I'll be able to answer questions if you want to kind of go through this or whatever. Again, hit me up on at Good Luggage on Instagram. Send us a message and we'll have a chat with you there, and we'll see if we can help you out some sort of way, shape or form anyway, as regards what you should be charging. And hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to look at it. If you haven't done already, please subscribe to the channel. This is the first real businessy template that I've done, but again, want to say thanks to Andy Mack, who has actually gotten the UK version done here. I just converted it and made it into an Irish version as regards euros and PRSIs and all that sort of stuff. So without him doing the original hard work and kind of putting the idea and the template together, I wouldn't have been able to do this. I wouldn't have been that way minded. But as I said, hopefully it's given you some little insight into it, and hopefully chat to some of you on Instagram then. So, okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.